had the privilege of being here last year talking about storytelling with the company that I founded, teaching kids how to code. Basically, I figure out ways to keep kids engaged, and our mission is for them to retain information. But now it's like critical thinking and using AI. Oh, okay. So I'm working on building an adaptive learning model to use as the main product for the Genius Code to be able to go into schools. And our main goal is for K through 12 in a digital learning environment. Now, so I say that the invention is not the only start or the spark of genius, is also innovation. So you take something that's already existing and you build on it, make it better, make it more accessible for everyone in every home. And that's the goal. It ignites the moment everything shifts. And this mission started before I even thought about building an adaptive learning model, before I even really niched down to AI and machine learning. When I started as a coder, I just wanted to be able to help with tech education with underrepresented communities, especially my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. And now I made it across the world and sharing my mission. So for me, this is a success and I'm so happy. And it's gonna be even more of a success when I'm able to get this into schools. And hopefully with the help of everybody here, I really appreciate this community. So one model for every learner. How it works. An adaptive learning model responds to how each student learns in real time. It builds a continuous picture of engagement and behavior, adjusts the learning path for the student as the student moves through it, and responds before a student disengages. Engagement and behavior, learning path adjustment, and instant model response. The model tracks how a student interacts with content, not just whether they got the answer right. So that includes pacing, like things, especially with the Blockly framework, what was adjusted, what was tried first. The path changes based on what the student needs next, not what's in a fixed sequence. And the model acts on signs of frustration or disengagement before the student falls behind. Me being able to work in schools, I was working with students with ADHD, who was autistic, had behavioral issues, and me being able to work one-on-one with them and do personalized learning really benefited them greatly. And I know that adaptive learning could really help assist with learners who are frustrated in a bigger student environment. So the research behind the gap. Right now I attend Eastern University and I'm finalizing my capstone, working on ethical AI and K through 12 adaptive learning models. And I believe an adaptive learning model has better capability to unlock every mind. Now, what the research revealed. There are main concerns. One is bias. What data the model has to build on, and if the model is trained on data that does not represent every learner, it will continue to leave the same students behind. So as a builder, we have to make intentional decision about what goes into the model from day one. And privacy, this is a major concern because these are children. Every data point collected about how they learn, where they struggle, and how they engage must be protected with intention. Educators need to know, as well as parents, need to know what is being collected and why before they can trust the system that they are using. And then transparency. When a model makes a decision about a learner's path, that decision needs to be explainable, which isn't the easiest thing right now. And educators need to be able to act on that information. The model is built to be understood, not just used. So instead of just using an LLM and not really knowing why the decisions are made, it's very important that we can kind of interpret and give understanding to the educators, to the developers. And we don't just want to use AI just to use AI. We actually want to build on this education system and advance it. So, mapping the framework. The research reveals what the model must account for, and it is not done here because we learn something new every single day, and we are beginning to translate that into a framework that actually functions for every learner. This is where the ethical foundation, the adaptive logic, and the design of the learning environment begin to connect. So now, the blocks. I really chose to use the Blockley framework because it's visual, and I feel like this is a bridge for students to be able to go on and learn coding and tech education. But also you can see more of how the student brain is working. And then this is a prototype. It is a very basic prototype, but that's what is starting right now. Let's see. I think I'm playing it. So this is just simulated adaptive logic. I'm really hoping to come back when I have more research and the model is being built and show like the last presentation with the kids actually using it. But as you see, the model is giving suggestions. We don't want the model to tell them like, this is the solution, but kind of redirect when a child gets frustrated. But the benefit of the adaptive learning model is you really don't know like the next thing that the child is going to select or why they selected it, but it's like with the adaptive learning, it just goes and suggests. The Spark models process. So behavior is captured through interaction. Every move a student makes inside their environment becomes a data point that's collected. And the model learns as the student learns, as the model learns, we learn. Not grades, not demographics, a continuous profile built on the student actually engaging with the model. And then the learning path adapting in real time. So it's not following a fixed sequence, but it's actually responding to the student's engagement. And the student stays in the productive zone. Instead of getting bored or frustrated or falling off, the model actually helps keep the student engaged. Did you catch the model at work? So these are the 2 points in the demo where if you click a button that's not in that sequence, you're in a messy middle. That's where real thinking happens, kind of affirming that this is how we work through problems. This, like I said, is simulated. So as more research and everything goes in, SEL and everything like that comes into play about the messaging that gets put out. And then what event would the bulb need before it could respond? And have the student think about that and then select what they feel is the best answer. Now I get to start developing. I'm still working on research, and I will still be doing that while I start developing. And I am starting the Learning Analytics and AI program at the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education. And I'm extremely excited that we'll be building the Spark model there. So the framework is expanding and the mission is reaching. So my next 2 objectives, the adaptive engine, the logic, and the visual experience, the interface. The adaptive logic is the engine behind every decision. And the visual framework is where the learner meets the model. And that's where Blockley Foundation come in. And this is the model roadmap as far as how I plan for everything to be completed. So right now we are still research and foundation, and I will happily move on to framework and development by the end of this year, and connecting the adaptive logic to the visual interface, and then model testing and pilot learners, releasing a Spark model to schools. It's a lot of work until we get to the launch, but I'm so excited, and I'm hoping that I can have help along the way. We create our future by improving present opportunities, however few and small they may be. That is a quote by Lewis Latimer. And that's my presentation, and thank you for listening.